Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is an All-American from the junior college ranks. You see the FSW jersey behind me, coming back to my roots with the Buccaneers at Florida Southwestern. And she is now heading off to the Division One ranks, playing for Illinois Chicago, the Flames, at the Division One ranks next season. I'm talking about Samantha Serrano. How's it going, Sam?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Excited to have somebody of your caliber on once again. You made your name known in the junior college ranks this past season as a true freshman, first year in the college ranks, and you dominated left and right, helped lead FSW to a historic season for the program. And you yourself, you have a lot of accolades to your name already. And I want fans, viewers to get to know some of those accolades in a segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock back to when you guys won the conference championship. First time the Bucks have won the conference championship in a couple of years. So 2025 Citrus Conference champs. And you yourself, you led that team in scoring, in three-pointers made, steals, and you rightfully earned Citrus Conference Player of the Year. Ended up being the first player of the year in quite a few years. And for the first time in a while for the Bucks, they had an All-American on the team. You yourself, NJCAA third team All-American honors en route to helping the Bucks to their first NJCAA national tournament selection since 2020, back when COVID first hit. So it's been a while for the Bucks since they've made it to the national tournament. You helped lead them in year one, able to make just an immediate impact right off the bat since game one of the season. What was that like for you this past year, getting adjusted to the college ranks, and how are you able to become a primary scoring option so early on in your career?
Um, to start off, one hard work. Coming out of high school, actually going into college. I just stood to myself, played my game. I just always tell myself it's another game. Just play the same, work hard, and you're gonna get what you want. So, hard work, dedication, and a family that we come from an athletic field where we're really engaged in sports, and I have them by my side to help me achieve anything I could, like anything I want actually. And I have my brother there too in FSW that I'm following his footsteps. So with that, it pushed me more as a freshman to play my game and achieve all those goals.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal baseball player for the Bucks. You obviously being an incredible player for the women's basketball program at FSW. And you were a newcomer coming into a program where they had a coaching change. Coach Gerald Ellis, who was the coach the previous few years, he moved on to another step in his career. Head coach Jamie Fisher came in year one with the program. He was getting used to the returners like Georgie and Sarah, who I've had on the podcast, uh, getting used to their playing styles and bringing in talents like yourself, Adriana Britt, as well as a couple of others. And you were able to really blend into what his coaching style was all about, to where you could go off and average the numbers that you did. You averaged 18 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 steals. You had 30 points and 5 steals against Palm Beach State, 25 points and 13 rebounds against number 23 Eastern Florida, and had a 7 game stretch where you shot over 50% from the field those 7 games combined and had 20 plus points in each of those games. So that spoke to the type of player, the type of scorer that you were. How did Coach Jamie Fisher really impact your ability to score at a high level this past season?
Working as a team, that team chemistry bond really helped us. And, you know, we need everybody in the court to score and do their job. So with me being in the court and handling his way of making plays and stuff, I fit in easily to his play. I feel like it was comfortable and easy for me to get to the screens, come off tight and get up to my shot. I feel like everything went smooth and I didn't have to change my game. So yeah.
Yeah, you were able to score at all three levels and still make an impact on the defensive end for a team where the starting five, all five of you were all conference honors, three on the first team, two on the second team, and all five signed to the Division One level, which I might be wrong on this, but I'm about 95% positive this is true. First time FSW's women's basketball program has ever had five players signed to the Division One ranks from just one team. So Obviously, you guys are making history left and right for this program. You yourself, third ever player in program history to have 500 points in a single season, which already put you, I believe, 10th or 11th all time in scoring. That includes players that were there for 2 years. So you obviously were able to come off and make an immediate impact and complement one another so well to where you could all thrive and find your ways to produce in this system. How would you say you guys were able to mesh so well in the system?
Again, back to team chemistry, I feel like that's very important in a team. You all have to have chemistry with each other. If somebody else is in a different page and you're in a different page, it's not going to work. So I feel like team chemistry and pushing each other in practice really helped us get to where we went. And also a coach that believed in us. He kept on pushing us every single day in practice, and that really helped us.
Yeah, and obviously your teammates trusted you to score the ball, and you had some crazy highlights this past season. I remember seeing some of them in person, some of them even on ESPN on top 10, and you already know which one I'm talking about there. But I do want to ask you, because I feel like I know which one's going to be your top play, because I have my top three for this segment we're about to get into called Make That Play. But I do want to ask you, as that high level athlete, that high caliber player you are, what would you say was that top play of yours this past season?
My top play, probably the ESPN one. I knew I had that. I told myself this is my time, and I could do it. I told coach, I got this. Just hand me the ball. I'm gonna make this last shot. So definitely that ESPN one.
Yeah. You and I, we agree on that one. ESPN top 10 play. You were actually number five on that top 10 list. Buzzer beater versus Hillsborough to win the game. You guys were actually down by two. 1 second left on the clock. Jamie Fisher calls a timeout. You guys advance the ball up. He draws up the inbound play for you to take that shot. And you end up getting it, took it, cashed it in for a 66-65 win over Hillsborough. So absolutely incredible what you were able to do there. Always came up in the clutch. And against Western Wyoming early on in the season, you really showed your ability to not just score at a high level, but also defend. You had a big time steal and score against Western Wyoming, where you ended up picking the pocket, got the steal, drove down the court, and you had a defender right there with you. You hit the Euro step reverse and
Yeah.
somehow got it to go in. I still don't know how you managed to make that, by the way. And then number three, I have not really just one play specifically from this game, but Santa Fe, 7 threes to tie the single game record for FSW. I mean, you pick any of those threes, you could put that at number three on this list. Absolutely amazing what you're able to do throughout your freshman year. And I mentioned before, you had a 7 game stretch where you scored 20 points or more in each of those games, including the 30-point outing against a very tough Palm Beach State opponent. What really seemed to click when you started getting further on into the season to where you were able to find your shot falling really well? And how were you able to adjust maybe in some of those games where the shot wasn't falling to still make an impact?
Uh, so coming into each game as the season goes on, team's gonna pick up where you're able to score the ball at, but they can't pick up everything. So with me, I could shoot the ball, I could drive, and I could tag, whatever. But they could probably stop my threes, but they can't stop my drive. Like there's always something that I could do to continue playing. Like they're never gonna take me out of a game. I mean, if they take me out, it's probably put two defenders on me. But yeah,
Hey, yeah, they had to double team you in order to get you to stop scoring. And even then, sometimes it took a triple team because you were always finding a way to get the ball in the basket. And you helped your team overall on the season to a 25-6 overall record, 17-1 in conference action, obviously winning the Citrus Conference. Had a 64-42 win in the first round of the Region A tournament versus Pensacola State. Went on to national tournament, 61-36 win in the first round of nationals against Intawamba Community College. And obviously a great historic season for the Bucks, but it started off a little rough, 2-3 through the first 5 games, but those losses were to number 15 Trinity Valley and two of them to number 2 Northwest Florida State, who ended up winning nationals this past season. you yourself, you were able to score double figures in those games, really seemed to find your stride, and you guys kept the game close. I believe those Northwest Florida losses were by 5 points, both of them, something like that. And then went on, beat number five Gulf Coast in a double digit win, and then just ran through conference action. So, how would you say those first 5 games helped you guys realize what you were capable of doing to go on and obviously dominate the rest of the season?
It definitely pointed out our weaknesses, and playing those games, it helped us. Okay, we need to fix this and that. And when we went to practice, we knew we had to fix those in order to dominate in regular season. So those 5 games definitely helped us, and that's how we did really good in regular season.
Yeah, obviously carried over, and you guys got that first round win in the national tournament where every single JUCO program they want to make it there. And Florida, they usually have at least 3 teams in the national tournament every year. Obviously, you guys were included in that this year and obviously made that impact to where you could go off, beat Itawamba, and then compete with a very tough New Mexico team that you guys had on the ropes there for a little bit. They came out there at the end, but you guys managed to make it back there for the program for the first time since 2020 when COVID hit, when they got selected into it. But obviously, national tournament didn't happen that year. So, really, back since 2019 was the last time they actually competed in it. So, talk to me about that national tournament experience. What did that mean for yourself, the team as a whole, and how are you guys able to go off and grab that first round win?
It meant everything to us. Um, During the season, many schools thought we weren't that good because the past records, but we came in the season and we were like, we just need to work and we'll get to the national tournament, we'll get to states, we'll get to wherever we want to be. So we just put in that work and made the other teams like believe that we belong there. And winning the first game in nationals, it meant a lot to us. We came a long way. We did a lot of training and preparation for it. So our hard work definitely paid off in the first round, so it meant a lot.
Yeah, I know you guys had a higher altitude going out there. Georgia Guzzetti, when I interviewed her, she mentioned you guys were wearing masks at practice to kind of get you guys used to the altitude. Crazy stuff. I thought that was genius by your guys' coaching staff. So absolutely incredible for you guys for the season overall. And you yourself, you were getting recruited by Division I schools left and right after the season, and obviously during the season as well. And you decided on the University of Illinois Chicago to go off and continue your career at the Division I ranks. What was it about the Flames that really stuck out to you that made you want to join their program rather than some of these other schools recruiting you?
Definitely the connection. Um, all these coaches, they every coach has reached out to me and kept the connection, but with Chicago, the connection was always there. It was constant. There wasn't one day where it's like, oh, they didn't text me. They constantly texted me throughout the whole process. When I went on the visit, they just made it feel like home. Even the girls in the current team said, yeah, this is where you want to be. The coach is going to push you. She cares about you. And I felt an amazing bond with the head coach and the rest of the staff. And I also like the city. They're in Chicago. It's a city. I'm from New York too, so it's a city in New York. And Chicago's a city, and I just felt like everything lined up, everything's great, and it's something and somewhere I want to be.
Yeah, and last season for the Flames didn't go exactly as they wanted to. 15 and 18 overall record, but struck even in Missouri Valley Conference play, 10 and 10 conference record. Ended up even making the WNIT and beat UAB in the first round of the WNIT before falling to Butler in the second round. But this UIC team last year, scoring was something that they seemed to struggle with. They actually didn't have a single player that averaged double figures. They had two that averaged about 9.5, but nobody that was a 10 plus point per game score. Obviously, you're coming off of an 18 point per game season where people know Samantha Serrano is an absolute bucket and she can get the ball in the hoop however she wants. How are you looking to be that big time scoring option for the Flames next season and help lead them to the Missouri Valley Conference Championship?
Definitely bringing my game, same game, but on a different level. So, you know, um, when practice come and everything, there's gonna be stuff I need to work on, and I will work on it. But also bring my game. I'm still gonna bring those deep threes. I'm still gonna be able to drive. So definitely upgrading my game, pushing the threes further, and getting to the basket more.
Definitely can't wait to see what you do for UIC. And I love being able to have players like yourself on, players that aren't talked about enough because everyone looks at the Division One ranks and they don't look anywhere else. They don't look at JUCO or D2 anywhere. And obviously, there are so many hidden gems, like obviously yourself, Georgie, Sarah, Asiana Britt, Ivy Brown, all of them going Division One, like I mentioned before, from FSW. And I always try to find ways to get players like yourselves on this podcast so you have a chance to tell your story and get your name out there a little bit more. And that's why I have this segment that I like to call Who's Up Next, where you can actually recommend some people that I can reach out to have on this podcast so they can get their names out there even more as well. There are two rules, though. First of which, you have to help me get on whoever you recommend, got to help me reach out. And number two, I do need at least one name where they were not a teammate of yours this past season. So maybe somebody that you're joining with at UIC or somebody in the college ranks that you know somewhere else.
Ooh. Um, Probably Bianca. She goes to Bloomfield in New Jersey.
Okay. All right, there we go. So I already know Samantha Serrano's recommending them. Obviously, they're a dog, so I got to take a look at their stats, take a look at what they did, and have them on the podcast to tell their story. So that right there, that's who's up next. Now we got to talk about what's next. We talk about the role that you're looking to have with UIC next year, trying to get them to the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. You mentioned you're still going to be able to knock down those deep threes. You're going to be able to get to the rim. What parts of your game are you looking to really improve on to kind of take that next step and hopefully go from being an All-American at the JUCO level to MVC Player of the Year, maybe even a mid-major All-American next year?
Doing some things that probably I didn't do much of, probably pull up jump shots, you know, mm, that's really hard. I mean, just kind of things that I really didn't do much. I'm more trying to do more crazy moves. I like my Euro step. I'm gonna add more game to my bag, so more of those definitely.
All right, definitely can't wait to see what you do next year with the Flames, Sam. Beyond excited to have been able to watch you play your freshman year at FSW. And you already know I'm going to be tuned in to ESPN Plus, watching your games, and hopefully you get back on those ESPN top 10 lists next season with some more crazy shots. So keep doing your thing. We're all beyond excited for you and proud of you with the Bucks family. And obviously now you're part of the Slim Sports family, so you always got our support too. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on the podcast.
So thank you.